Hello, and welcome to another episode of Embracing Truth. My name is Anna G, and I am part of the Greater Long Beach Church. And today I will be talking about mustard seed faith. I'd like to start by showing you this little speck of dot here, and it's a mustard seed, and that's the size of it. You know, the mustard seed is one of the smallest and most insignificant seeds that's found in the Middle East. But it can grow into a tree as tall as 10 feet and over just a short few months. And in Matthew 17:20, it says, "Truly I tell you, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, 'Move from here to there,' and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you." The point in Jesus' statement being that a seemingly inconsequential speck of faith can move mountains. A seemingly small act of tenderness or kindness, or a seemingly simple faith-filled prayer for another person, or any small act of faith can perhaps have an eternal or mountain-moving impact on another person's life. Jesus regularly highlighted small acts of faith and considered them of great value. Let's take, for example, two examples in the book of Mark. Mark 12:42. Jesus points out the poor widow who puts in 2 very small copper coins into the temple treasury. In Mark 14:9, the woman who washed his feet, Jesus said, "Wherever the gospel is preached throughout the world, what she has done will also be told in memory of her." So when we consider our life and our faith, are we using what we have to the fullest? Or have we decided that it is for someone else with bigger or better faith to accomplish greater things? I used to think that as a younger Christian, and even as an older Christian, I can think that my faith is not as great as so-and-so's, that he or she just seems so spiritual, so faithful, so evangelistic, etc. But one day I realized that faith is for our taking. Faith is for my taking. Faith is for your taking. And we need to be reminded of that. Recently, when this pandemic started, I have very little faith that I can have a Bible study during this time. But after I had a quiet time on mustard seed faith, I decided to send out a text to 2 different women. And so I sent out 2 mustard seed texts. And one woman said that she was busy, and the other woman said, "What time?" And wow, I was not expecting that. But ever since March, we have been studying the Bible over Zoom and are still studying to this day. Jesus talks about faith as small as a mustard seed. So it just involves a little effort, a little faith. However, we still may not be convinced, and we may still think we need a Costco-sized faith or a Sam's Club-sized faith. But let's look in Judges 6 to see otherwise. In Judges 6:12, the Lord appeared to Gideon and says, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." But Gideon doubted that God was with him. Verse 13, he says, "Pardon me, my Lord, but if God is with us, why has all this happened to us?" And we may be thinking that as well during this pandemic. Why has all this happened to us? The Lord tells Gideon, "Go in the strength you have." Gideon claims, "But my clan's the weakest, and I am the least in the family." God replies, "I will be with you." Basically, God is telling him and telling us that he will supply the rest of the strength that we need. At the end of the day, we all know that Gideon does end up becoming a mighty warrior, and his name is even appears in Hebrews 11, what we call the Hall of Faith. God saw Gideon, and God sees us for who we can become through him, through faith in him, and not who we are now or even who we have been. We may be told, or perhaps we tell ourselves, that we can't make a difference, so why even try? This pandemic and the current issues may be leaving us feeling the 3 Ds: defeated, deflated, and disappointed, making us want to just sit back and eat a bag of chips or a big bowl of ice cream. Or maybe that's just me. We may have little energy to dream big. We may not love for fear of being hurt. We may not want to trust for fear of being betrayed. We may not want to do extraordinary things for fear of failure. Plus, how much can we actually accomplish during a pandemic? But don't buy into that. Instead, let's overcome the mountain of excuses of perhaps why we can't move forward from whatever situation we may feel faithless in. God is bigger than all of that. Let's embrace this truth. All we need is a mustard seed of faith to shove aside the mountain of excuses. So go in the strength you have. Dream big by simply starting with the mustard seed of faith. Just this much. Thanks for listening. Love you guys.